Hello there, this is Laszlo Vasco with Micro Adventures. Today we're continuing with the 1950s, shooting with our Voigtlander Prominent camera from 51, as well as the Minolta Auto Wide. Both of these cameras I featured in the enthusiast from 1951 with the 51 Cessna. But today we're going to do some scenic shots with them. And we're here in Maynard, Massachusetts on the Assabet River. The town is known for two corporations that basically occupied the same premises. First one being the Assabet Mills, founded in the late 19th century or 1870s. The town actually gets its name from the founder. Forgot his first name, but Mr. Maynard, let's just start with that. The mills focused on wool products, wool fabric, carpets. They manufactured, oh wow, the geese are going crazy. I think they like the show. But anyway, so they manufactured various wool products, and the mill ran till about 1950. At which point it closed its doors. So right when this camera sort of came out, and then Digital Equipment Corporation. I worked with a DEC actually when I started my career, but that's a whole separate side story. But Digital Equipment Corporation, so for those of us that worked in IT, even in the 90s, will be very familiar with the company. But anyway, they established themselves in some of the buildings and took everything over in 7 years later in 57. So that's sort of perfect timing for the Minolta, where I'm kind of bracketing the 1950s. So F8 and 250. Trying to get the foreground with the flowers. So here with the Minolta, doesn't have a rangefinder, so I need to use zone focusing. It's got these detents for a person, a group, a larger group, and then infinity. And with F8, what I'm going to do is again just set it on zone focusing. Again, if you haven't seen my previous video, both of these lenses are 35mm. That's what's neat with the Minolta Auto Wide. It's a fixed lens camera. It comes with a 35mm f2.8 lens that is purported to be very sharp. And it has, again, this funky double control dial to set the aperture. It was actually the first camera in Japan to feature a built-in light meter. It still seems to work, although I wouldn't quite trust it, hence using the either the app or the separate light meter. Yeah, the other neat part about it is you could see how slim this camera is. So I have developed a fondness for it. It is pretty neat. Trying to get some of the foreground here with the tree. All right, so here we are inside the mill complex. It's kind of neat with these. I don't know if these are conveyor belts or what. So originally, this was, of course, water powered. There's a natural drop in the Assabet River. It was controlled right here, driving the and wheels in the original wool mill. on a different section of the Assabet River in the town of Hudson, Massachusetts. This is basically 2 towns west of Maynard that we've covered. Maynard focused on wool manufacturing or wool-based fabrics and carpets, and and Hudson, on the other hand, was known for shoe manufacturing. At one point, there were over a dozen shoe manufacturing sites here, starting in the mid-19th century, powered again by the Assabet River and the mills. The town had a large fire, losing a lot of these historic manufacturing sites. Further history is that DEC also moved in here and had a large presence. And when Digital Equipment Corporation, similar to Maynard, when they folded in '98, Intel took it over and had a large manufacturing plant manufacturing microchips. Today we're going to proceed with shooting, but this time I've mounted the Telomar, in effect turning this into a SLR camera, single lens reflex camera. I'll show that mounting process in a second. And so this now turns it with the lens on it, which is also, by the way, interchangeable, right on the Telomar extension. It's a 100mm f/5.5 lens, so it's a short telephoto, a little bit hefty, and as you can see, it's a fairly big and clunky mechanism, but it's super neat to be able to convert a rangefinder camera into an SLR camera. It's got this really neat mechanism, as I'll show. This will become this lever, which will attach right on top of the shutter. You'll be able to push it down, and it will push both the shutter down and at the same time flip the mirror up within the Telomar unit to be able to take the shot. And when it's released, the mirror will go back down. I'll take the rear lens cap off. Okay, so what is really neat with this is the aforementioned mechanism. So it's got the lens mount itself has a bayonet on the outside. That's what connected to both the 35mm, as well as I believe this will also go onto the outside bayonet. But it's got an inside bayonet as well. So I saw that the 50mm, for example, will connect into the inside bayonet. I have to say I always struggle putting this on. Here we go. It is now locked on. So we are here sort of at the edge of town, and with a view of the Assabet River in the distance. It's rather than being an industrial town, it is there's a number of great restaurants here.